Hey everyone, Red2 here. We're doing something slightly different to actually kick off this game. We're looking at the instruction manual for Donkey Kong 64 because, given this is rare, there's actually a lot of good hidden humour in this one. If we take a look, we can scroll through our contents and see pretty much everything that happens. The most important thing for us is, of course, the story as presented by Cranky Kong. We can zoom in a little bit to see what's going on. So, of course, half the fun of it is paying attention to Cranky's sarcastic comments, which, this is a bit of a bonus, so if you want to proceed to the first episode, do so. Otherwise, enjoy Cranky's observations about everything. So, let's see what nonsense they've made up for this game, shall we? Well, I have to hand it to them. This time they managed to come up with a decent storyline that doesn't involve the usual golden bananas. Only joking, kids! This one's worse than the previous efforts put together. I know you probably aren't expecting a bestseller, but wait till you hear this load of rubbish. Left! Rasped a voice to his left. Right! Came back the immediate response from the other side. It had seemed like a good idea at the time, but now the claptrap turning the wheel wasn't so sure. His little legs were getting tired, and those two incompetent fools didn't have a clue where they were going. Left! Right! With a sudden, sickening crunch of metal against rock, the king's pride and joy came to a shuddering halt, knocking all three off their feet. The tough little claptrap was up first, dashing eagerly across to the broken bridge window to see what those goons had hit. You two are going to be in so much trouble, he barked gleefully. But that pair weren't the only ones in trouble. Deep within the gloomy bowels of his latest creation, a furious King K. Rool sat on his throne, glaring down at the quaking generals of his vast Kremling army.
Well, I'm still waiting for an answer.
His plan couldn't fail this time, or so he had thought. But like so many times in the past, he had underestimated just how useless his scaly minions could be. It had taken years to build, but now his mighty island stronghold lay immobile off the coast of its very first target, Kong Isle. Perhaps not all was lost, though. We'll just have to scroll across a little bit.
Power up the Blastomatic. Target is Kong Isle. Fire when ready!
Instead of a deafening explosion, there came only a pathetic whimper.
I'm so very sorry, Your Majesty, but I'm afraid the Blastomatic isn't quite working yet.
King K. Rool turned to face the white-coated technician responsible for the bad news. The king began to cry.
It's just not fair, he sobbed. I really thought I was going to win this time.
Clump waddled over and put a consoling arm around his distraught leader.
Don't get all upset now, Your Excellency. We'll go and capture those nasty Kongs for you. Then we'll steal their golden bananas, as usual, so that if any Kongs escape us, they'll be too busy looking for them to come and ruin your magnificent plans.
As King K. Rool watched his generals leave, he wiped away his crocodile tears, see what they did there, and began to laugh. His little play acting had worked, and now those Kongs would soon be history. He glared down at his bemused technician.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get the Blastomatic working. I've got an island to destroy.
Starting the game. Now then, just drop your quarter into the slot and... sorry, wrong game. After pressing start, you will be presented with the selection page. Use the control stick to select between the 5 icons and press the A button to select one. So, adventure, we'll skip some of these things. It allows you to start a new game, continue one in progress, 3 save slots. Options, you can select the language, camera mode, screen size, and story skip. Mystery, you have to collect banana fairies to gain various cheats. Battle is multiplayer. Sound settings. And the Kongs you play. We've had Donkey, Diddy, Dixie, and Kitty in the past. I wonder if any of those has-beens has got the guts to risk their flea-bitten necks again for a new adventure. Let's have a look, see who's in this one then, eh? Donkey Kong. About time that lazy good-for-nothing went adventuring again. He's the leader of this mangy bunch and tells me that he has learned a whole new bunch of mean reptile-stomping moves. I doubt whether they'll be any better than his old ones, but we shall see, shan't we? Cranky's kind of got a point. on account of the fact that DK wasn't even the best character in Donkey Kong Country and wasn't in the next two ones. At least not as a playable character. Diddy Kong. Donkey's little nephew wannabe. He's quick, nimble and courageous, but still a bit of a lightweight when compared to my fine physique. He's also got this newfangled thing he calls a jet barrel. Sounds like nothing more than a lot of hot air to me. Whoops. That's... Plus is the page scroll. I thought this was Dixie Kong until she told me that she's Dixie's younger sister. Kids these days all look alike. You'll probably recognize Dixie's trademark hairspin technique, but Tiny can also shrink in size. Though I reckon that one's nothing more than a marketing gimmick and won't even be in the game. Lanky Kong. A newcomer to the Kong clan and the joker of the pack. I haven't a clue whom he's related to. Must be some distant cousin or something. Those silly stretchy arms give him plenty of potential, but I'm sure he'll be too busy clowning around to be of much use. Chunky Kong. Let me guess, this one's the big guy? Sheesh, I don't know how they come up with these names. Anyway, he's Kitty's older brother and lists crushing, smashing, and pounding Kremlings as his hobbies. Hey, perhaps there's a glimmer of hope for these bums after all. Bet he's really slow, though. Other Kongs. You'll find the service of these unsung heroes invaluable as you trudge through your third-rate quest. I'd now like to introduce you to the most important character in the game, as well as my trusty assistants who have minor roles too. Just remember that we rightfully expect our expertise to be rewarded. So do kill and collect a good haul of banana bunch coins before you even think about disturbing me, won't you? Professor Cranky Kong. Yep, you read it right, Sonny. It's Professor Cranky now, and you'd better show your elders some respect, as I'm your only hope in defeating those rancid reptiles. My powerful potions will give you abilities you've never dreamed of and certainly don't deserve. Assuming, of course, you can afford my modest asking fee. Now, don't you go asking me for a potion of gameplay, as even my genius can't rescue this game from its rightful destiny in the bargain bin. Funky Kong. Lazy, rude, and loud he may be, but Funky the Monkey stocks the necessary firepower you're gonna need to blast your way through the collection of mediocrity known as the levels. Be warned, though, as Funky's comprehensive guarantee on his products expires as soon as you leave his hut. Candy Kong. That darn donkey has all the luck. His girl Candy waits around in her hut, always willing to offer her musical help to that undeserving son of mine and his fancy polygonal friends. Pah! Wrinkly Kong. She may not be quite the same as you remember her from past adventures, but my good-natured wife will again be around to help you if you get stuck. Which I'm sure you will. Other characters. King K. Rool. While K. Rool may have ditched his ridiculous disguises, his intentions are as evil as ever. Fortunately, a combination of his own incompetence and useless minions have allowed us to defeat him in the past. But the future of Kong Isle rests in the ability of Donkey and his new buddies to prevent the Croc's latest effort. Ugh. I could defeat him single-handedly, of course, but then you wouldn't have a game to play, would you? Snide. A mysterious weasel defector who bears a grudge against the Kremlings. I can't be bothered to tell you anymore, so you'll have to ask him what he's doing in this game when you meet him. Trough and Scoff. Trough's a pig, Scoff's a hippo, and both are big, slow, and useless. They sit in a nice, cozy room and wait to be fed enough bananas to satisfy their alarming appetites. Once fed, they're supposed to help you. But a novice player like you won't be able to collect enough food, so I'd be wasting my precious breath if I told you what they did. K. Lumsy. He's bigger, slower, and even more useless. No, it's not Chunky, but a hulking, good-natured Kremling whom K. Rool has imprisoned for his lack of reptilian ruthlessness. I reckon all it will take is a bit of the famous Kong charm to win K. Lumsy over and get him to lend a considerably sized hand in thwarting his master's plans. Banana Fairy. Who's this? I didn't see any fairy when I looked around. She, must be a secret character or something. Yep, I remember now. A secret character. With bananas. Obviously, I know where she is, but if I told you, it wouldn't be a challenge to find her, would it? So although I know everything about this secret fairy banana character, I'm not saying anything. Let's move on, shall we? And Cranky actually has a pretty good point, because the Nintendo 64 controller was awkward. Ah! What is that thing? Which way do I hold it? There are too many buttons. And this wobbly stick thing feels like it's broken. I can't believe players use this silly controller contraption to play games. Good solid joystick and one button is all I'd need. So just a bit of advice on the controller and the expansion pack and rumble pack. So your A button is standard jump, Hold for higher jump, B button is attack, R button centers the camera, C buttons left and right rotate camera, up and down zoom it, and you can trigger special moves while holding Z and pressing those buttons. Z makes the Kongs crouch, and you can rotate while crouching, and the control stick allows you to move, fairly obviously. Pause menu and status screens. I knew they'd have to have something like this. The Kongs will be so weighed down with all the garbage they have to collect, I can't see them getting past the second level. You can view all this silly nonsense and some other stuff I don't understand by pressing start during your game. Depending on where you are and how far into the adventure you have progressed, the options available on the pause menu will differ. And then it's a fairly straight-laced approach through everything. You've got return, which lets you go back to it, save, saves the game, quit game, save and exit level, leave the level and head back to the level lobby, restart mini-games, exit to level, exit the current sub-game or bonus game, go to the level, and status screens. These record our progress and we can scroll through them. Then we have advanced moves, climbing, swimming, running and jumping attacks, backflips, and long jumps. Cranky's special abilities. This is where I come in. Let's face it, the Kong's basic abilities are only a pale shadow of my former skills. In order to give them a chance to progress, I will generously let you buy a few of my special potions from time to time in order to make those kids a little less embarrassingly useless. Some abilities can be used anywhere, but others require the use of my pads or barrels with the face of the appropriate character on them. All Kongs can get the Simian Slam, the Super Simian Slam, and the Super Duper Simian Slam. This is the ground pound, basically. Since I figure you're gonna need all the help you can get, they put the wrong yaw in there, I can see, I've decided that only one Kong needs to pay for each of my slam moves. Once one of that ragged bunch is bought, the other bums get it for free. Of course, this offer doesn't apply to my premium selection of abilities listed below. Each Kong will have to pay in full to get their hairy hands on those miracle potions. So, basic explanation of how the moves work or how you execute them. The Baboon Blast, Gorilla Grab, and Strong Kong, Chimpy Charge, Rocket Barrel Boost, and Simian Spring, Mini Monkey, Ponytail Twirl, and Monkey Port, Orangustand, Baboon Balloon, Orangustand Sprint, Orangasprint, Hunky Chunky, Primate Punch, and Gorilla Gone. So, I'll explain more about those moves when we actually get to them. Funky Shooters. When you find you're getting an inevitable whopping from K-Rool's cronies, consider equipping yourself with the finest shooters Funky can make. Each Kong shooter fires a different object, which you will find in the supply crates scattered around the levels. Shooters can also be used to activate certain switches and features, so I'm told. If you pay well enough to get one, which I very much doubt, press and hold the Z button, then press the C left button to bring out the shooter. Use the B button to shoot, press C up to go into first-person view where an aiming sight appears. Use the control stick while in this view to move the aiming sight around, press and hold Z, then press C left to put the shooter away again. If you press and hold the Z button, then double tap the C left button in quick succession, the Kongs will fetch out their shooters and go into first-person aiming mode all in one move. You can put the shooter away and return to the normal view by holding the Z button and double tapping the C left button. Crafty, huh? Funky stocks the following shooters, all of which can hopefully be upgraded, if you can get that far into the game without falling asleep. Donkey Kong, Coconut Cannon. Diddy Kong, Peanut Pop Guns. Tiny Kong, Feather Bow. Lanky Kong, Grape Pipe. And Chunky Kong, Pineapple Launcher. Funky's special offer. Pah! He's just copying my idea now. Once you have your shooter, you should start saving for Funky's upgrades. If one Kong pays for any of the upgrades, the others get it for free. He's making this game far too easy if you ask me. Candy's musical instruments. You never see me playing some silly musical instruments. Oh no! All the bad guys understood in my day was a nice heavy barrel on the top of their stupid heads. Times change, unfortunately, so I suppose it's a good idea to seek out Candy's help, as her instruments send out Kremling flattening sound waves when played. She also tells me that if you play the correct instrument while standing on one of her music pads, it can cause all sorts of amazing things to happen. Pah! This all sounds like poppycock to me, and I suspect these things are a complete waste of time. If by some miracle they do actually have a use, you can press and hold the Z button, then press the C up button to play the instrument. And that basically tells you the musical pieces. The bongo blast, guitar gazump, saxophone slam, trombone tremor, and triangle trample. Candy's special offer. Oh no, she's at it too, has she no shame? Once you have your instrument, Candy can offer you a few musical upgrades and some much-needed help with your pitiful energy levels. If one Kong pays for any of her services, the other freeloaders get it for nothing. I'm afraid there's no hope for you if you can't finish this game now. Banana Fairy's camera. Oh, it's that secret Banana Fairy again. She's got a camera? Oh, of course, how could I forget? She's got a camera she takes pictures with, that you take pictures with. Yep, you can take pictures of things. Secret fairy type things. Take some pictures and she'll give you some more secret stuff. You can operate the camera by pressing and holding the Z button, then pressing the C down button to fetch it out and go into a camera view mode. Use the control stick to point the camera in the desired direction and press the B button to take a picture. Yep, that's right. Chimpy collectibles. Trinkets and baubles, every last one. You'll be so busy collecting this tatty lot, you'll not notice the lack of gameplay. I never had to collect anything in my day, no siree, and my games are all the better for it. Golden bananas. The most precious item in the game. Apart from me, of course. You'll need plenty of these to progress through the levels. If you find more than 10, I'll be surprised. Bananas. Come in 5 different colours that each Kong must collect to feed to the greedy Trophenscoff. Donkey should be looking for yellow ones, Diddy red, tiny purple, lanky blue, and green for Chunky. Banana Bunch coins. Also found in the same colours as the bananas and can be collected by the appropriate Kong. These are used to pay for the various invaluable services that Funky, Candy, and especially I have to offer. Supply crates. These contain the items that the Kongs can shoot from their various silly shooters. Oranges. Bouncing oranges have explosive properties that can defeat even the toughest of Kremlings. Pfft, that's not fair. Where were my oranges all those years ago? You kids have got it far too easy these days. Crystal coconuts, which are a reference to the Donkey Kong Country cartoon, or so many people believe. These mystical items have magic powers that enable the lucky Kongs to perform a variety of my amazing special abilities. Banana camera film. Collect these and photograph the missing banana fairies to get the secret stuff that I told you about earlier. Melon crates. These contain several slices of melon to replenish your energy. Sure you'll be needing every last one of them too. Blueprints. Color-coded like the bananas and coins, there are 5 of these on each level, always in the possession of a sturdy Kremling. Recover the blueprints if you can, then take them to that shifty snide to earn your reward. Simeon specials. Special? Sure like to know what makes these any better than the others. Look just as useless to me. Probably because they're slightly larger and a little shinier, I suppose. Banana medals. Collect 75 out of 100 of any Kong's bananas on each world to earn a medal. I'll be needing a good armful of these later in the game, so you'd better start collecting them right now, sonny. Battle Arena crowns. Unlikely it may sound, but if you survive the onslaught of the Kremling hordes in one of their battle arenas, you'll win a prized crown. Sorry, but I've forgotten what they do. Banana fairies. Collect these hard-to-find fairies by photographing them with the magical banana camera. The more you get, the better the reward, although I'm not guaranteeing you'll get anything. Boss keys. Beat a boss and you're rewarded as a key. Simple as that. I know what the keys are for, but do you? Rareware and Nintendo coins. Hidden deep within the game, these 2 valuable coins will test rusty gaming skills you thought you'd never have to use again. Gibbon gameplay. Sheesh, you must be a real lame player if you're still reading this booklet. You obviously need all the help you can get. No one can accuse old Cranky of being unhelpful, though, so I'll reluctantly let you know about these other features that you might find on the levels. See how lucky you are? DK portals. Shimmering gateways that transport you between the level lobbies and the levels themselves. Wrinkly doors. Also found in the level lobbies, the information concealed behind these should be used as a last resort only, or as a first resort if you're a really poor player. Switches. You'll find these all over the place, but some require a more hefty whack than others. The best switch is the one on top of your Nintendo 64, as you can turn off your silly 3D adventure and let me get some sleep. Candy's headphones. Stand near these and your musical smart bombs will be replenished. Battle Arena Pad. You'll find one of these on each level if you're lucky. Stand on it and press the Z button to be transported to the Kremling's Battle Arena, a place where arguments are traditionally settled and Kongs get a good thumping. Survive the extremely one-sided battle to win a coveted battle crown of the grudging respect of the reptiles. Cranky Kong's barrels. I made these barrels myself, you know. Jump in one to activate another impressive selection of my special abilities. Cranky Kong's pads. These are very important, so listen up. Stand on one, press the Z button, and be prepared to gasp in awe when one of my special abilities is activated. Tag barrels. You can use these to swap between Kongs when on a level. Once a Kong has been rescued, his or her face will appear on all the tag barrels. Jump inside to make your selection from the mangy monkeys available. Players less skilled than myself, i.e. all of you, will also be relieved to find that your energy is replenished during a visit to these barrels too. Banana port pads. Once active, these allow the Kongs to travel quickly between previously visited areas. Find and stand on 2 pads with the same number to form a link. Then press the Z button while standing on one pad to be banana ported to the other. Let me know if you find a banana port that can take me out of this sorry game, and I'll be there in a flash. Animal crates. Jump in these to be transformed into an animal buddy. I just hope they've included Paul Winking and Espresso this time instead of that bone-brained rhino that always seems to get in the games. Trough and Scoff portals. There are several of these on a level, but all of them lead directly to Trough and Scoff's room. Exiting the room will put you back on the level through the same portal that was originally entered. Monkey multiplayer. It's true, I'm afraid. They've gone and included one of those awful multiplayer modes that seem to be all the fashion these days. This means you and some other whippersnappers can huddle around your flickering screen and play a few games that I reckon were thrown in at the last minute and will be average at best. Sure hope I'm in some of them, though. I'd just love to whoop some of these young wannabes behinds. So, we have 2 types of multiplayer games. Monkey Smash, which is sort of like third-person shooter with similar controls to GoldenEye, and the single-screen mayhem of Battle Arena. You can select your mode, and you must collect 1 crown in Adventure mode to get multiplayer. Once you've collected 1 crown, you'll begin with Donkey Kong as the only playable character, and the others are added as they're unlocked. So, Monkey Smash game types: Survival, last player standing wins. Coin Hoard, player with the most coins at the end of the time limit wins. First player to reach a target number of Monkey Smashes wins. Time, player with the most Monkey Smashes, which I presume is kills, at the end of the time limit wins. Capture, the player holding the DK coin at the end of the time limit is the winner. Capture Pad, activate all the pads while holding the DK coin. This is where the in-joke my brother and I have of Yellow Tie DK, the embodiment of DK's seemingly terrible performance in various games, winds up coming from. Because you can change your palette as you go. Battle Arena, you have wins, coin hoard, survival, capture, and time. Pretty similar. A selection of items appear at random during Battle Arena. These can be collected and have varying results, but not all of them are good. The levels. Now, where did they put that level I designed? Oh, I can't seem to find it. It was called the Great Girder Grapple, as I remember. Oh, I must have spent at least 3 minutes working on it. I even drew them a fancy little picture. Must have been too good for them. The kids would have refused to play their fancy 3D levels once they'd gotten a taste of my 2D girder action. Don't give up hope, though. They might have hidden it somewhere like a priceless gem, hoping that no one will ever find it. The islands. The once idyllic Kong Isle now has an unpleasant neighbour in the form of K. Rool's massive mechanical Crocodile Isle. This monstrosity towers over our homeland with the ridiculously named Blast-O-Matic device ready to reduce it to rubble. Between them, these 2 contrasting islands conceal the entrances to all the levels. Jungle Japes. The first level for you to monkey around in. Its humid tunnels and lush open areas are home to the shuffling naughty beavers with whom even a second-rate player like you should have no problem. Drop in to see Funky, and more importantly me, to buy your first desperately needed new abilities. The imprisoned Diddy Kong should be your first objective as the careless chimp takes you on a real wide ride. Whoop. Angry Aztec. I hate the scorching heat and frequent sandstorms of this level. Staring at a bunch of patrolling critters and vicious claptraps, and it makes me glad that I don't need to leave my cozy lab. An ancient civilization built many mysterious temples here, which now make more than suitable prisons for that full lanky and Tiny Kong. Seek out the help of Candy Kong for the first time, and don't forget me, of course! Frantic Factory. K. Rool's pride and joy, a grim, noisy, and extremely hazardous toy-making facility. No one wants these toys for a gift, though, as they're designed to attack anything in sight. No, the grim surroundings are not to Chunky's liking. He'd much prefer a warm bed of banana leaves to the precariously positioned rusty metal cage the Kremlings have prepared for him. Rescue the useless lumbering ape, then come and see your old pal Cranky, won't you? Gloomy Galleon. Prepare to get your flea-ridden fur wet as you dive down into the murky depths of the reptilian lagoons. You won't be the only thing down there, as the gloomy, rotting remains of the king's once proud armada lie waiting to be explored. Truly an enlightening experience. Elsewhere, you'll find a hulking structure that's a bit dim and doesn't work. Yes, I all know you already know about Chunky, but this is also true of an eerie lighthouse. Let's see if you can get them both working and be of some use. Fungi Forest. Someone sure has an overactive imagination. They say this forest contains a giant magical cuckoo clock which has the ability to change day to night and back again in a matter of moments. I don't believe that for a second. They can't fool this wily old ape. Wait, there's more nonsense too. A mystical tree? Pah! A sky-high mushroom you can go inside? Nope. Abandoned mills and barns? I doubt it. I reckon it should be called Fantasy Forest as none of this stuff actually exists. Crystal Caves. Yep, I knew they'd have an icy-type crystal level in there somewhere. This one's a bit unstable though, very prone to dangerous falling rocks bouncing off my lab roof and your dopey heads. Only it doesn't hurt my roof. Find a way into the numerous giant igloos and creepy log cabins, but I wouldn't stray into the path of the club-wielding koshers if I were you, which happily I'm not. Creepy Castle. It's a castle and it's creepy, will that do? Apparently not. Alright, I'll try my best to make this sound exciting. Steel your nerves as you hesitantly edge around the precarious exterior, desperately trying to find a way into the fortress's foreboding walls. Once inside, the horrors of the creepy crypts, the haunted regal ballroom, and the mad museum await their hideous inhabitants eager to welcome unwanted guests. They're not bad, eh? Almost makes you want to play it. Hideout Helm. You'll find one of the hardest challenges you've faced in here. All 5 Kongs must work together. Yep, I know it's tough, but find enough playing skill from somewhere and maybe you'll struggle through to the finish. But even when you get there, it may not be the end after all. Cranky's Tips. Tough luck, kid. I've been told to keep my mouth shut as they want to keep all the good stuff for a money-making strategy guide. I'm sure some of it will appear on that newfangled internet thing as well, so I suggest you take a look-see there. You could also ask your friends, assuming of course you've got any. If all else fails, you'll just have to play better. And that's pretty much it for the English version. Rare added a lot of things like that, just messing around, having a bit of fun with things, and of course using Cranky Kong to provide meta commentary on things. So with this optional little bit done, we can now move on to the game proper, and I get a bit of an opportunity to rest my voice. Thank you very much for putting up with this if you did. If not, that's okay. We will see you as the adventure begins. Let's get going.